is they emotional and encourage corruption. Okay, now isn't that ironical that the same EFCC that's supposed to fight corruption to a standstill, Atiku Abubakar is the opposition committee and the international community to condemn the EFCC's action as a distortion of Nigeria's democratic value. Well, you're being used almost in political yes. CC to these CC rejected the accusation asserting non-partisan representing or even the political affiliate Lukoyede, who happens to be the ACC was already investing in Tambuwal governor. The actions that in money laundering event yes. Well, yeah, at the easy opposition leaders joining the process. He also said, toward one party, that's the agenda. Toward one party, that's the agenda. But allowing itself to say, regardless of timing, it got to be not vested whoever is wrong, and to bring them, under the subjection of the law. What do you think of this? Because Tambuwal is seemingly quiet. He hasn't made any public, statement just yet. He has been very quiet. But what do you make of these back and forths? Because Nigerians are asking some questions. And the question will be, why is it, or why does it seem that those who have tasted power at whatever level, whether local, state, or federal, it's usually a tug of war to bring them to answer by the book of the Constitution. However, for the average citizen, it's almost a speedy process. Why? And then, as the EFCC, would you say that they're being used as a tool to witch hunt, other political affiliation?
Well, for me, if we must make Nigeria a sane society, the first thing is that if you are accused, is for you to first explain yourself. If you have been in public office, you owe citizens a duty to be accountable. And when you are accused, the first thing I expect is that, okay, explain yourself. Prove your innocence, rather than trying to bring up the issue of political affiliation. I don't think that should be the first response. The first response should be that as a public official, who I was given was a mandate of managing resources. If you have been accused of mismanaging those resources, the first thing I expect you to do is to go and explain. So, the idea of hiding behind political affiliation and then saying that it's political persecution should not be the first explanation. That's just my immediate response to it. Secondly, what we have seen is that in a casual state, the rich determine what is fact, the rich can buy justice, while the poor are made to suffer. And without going too far, we have seen the recent case involving a popular musician and a lady at the airport. We saw the speed at which the young lady was prosecuted, while the other popular musician was arrested, talkless of, and that is just to our various centers. You see a lot of innocent people who are just being kept there as awaiting trial inmates. Whereas you see people who have committed heinous crimes, but who, because are connected political heavyweights, they are walking free, without anybody asking questions. And if we must build a country, where justice reigns, we need to change this paradigm. Everybody ought to be equal before the law. It should not be a situation of where all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Except we do that, then we're not going to have a country that is what's being called a country. So we need to change this. We need to make everybody equal before the law, and everybody must be, given the same treatment. Not that some people can commit crime and go scot-free, while some people commit the same crime and they are speedily prosecuted and sent to jail. I think that is unfair, and that is not what you call the rule of law. It's the rule of might. So those are just my initial take.
Right. But then let me take it up from where you said, persons, of maybe lesser financial muscle, when they commit a crime or they are found or deemed to have committed a crime, there is a very quick passage, trial, in fact, conviction, if you like, for such persons. And yet, there is also a narrative in Nigeria that, our judiciary is not equal to the task in undertaking their constitutional duties and responsibility to the Nigerian people. That why is it that quite a number of cases will stand trial for so long? Take, for example, the Dasuki case. Yeah? The Dasuki case now, the court is seemingly advising the government and saying, you know what, about this Dasuki case, why not just let it go, just leave it and let it go. Since 2015, we've been on this case. It's been dragging up until now. But it says, okay, if federal government still wishes to continue, they should bring their final witnesses, so that they can do a final justice to it. Why do you think there is some disparity, especially having the George Orwell's Animal Farm playoff right here in this country between the haves and the have-nots? Because you mentioned the Comforts case. There was a speedy, justice, so to speak. Speedy trial process, may not be justice, but there was a trial process based on evidences. Does it mean that we do not have enough evidence to try and charge these money bags in courts so that justice will be served? Or is it a failure of the courts or the judiciary in Nigeria?
Well, I would say that in many respects, the courts have not the courts have been more or less like the instruments in the hands of the elite, and that is why you find many people, like I said earlier on, being unjustifiably, detained, or incarcerated in our various correctional centers. For crimes that, in the real sense, it does not even warrant, being sent to jail. Meanwhile, the super rich, the elite, commit crimes almost on a daily basis, and they go scot-free. And like I said, this is a symptom of the fact.
Hello?
parish who determines what is justice.
Okay.
And then they can, beyond the determining what is justice, they can equally buy their way through the judicial system and processes. And that is where the ordinary man, is vulnerable, because he doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the connection to buy his way, to even get justice in the first place. He doesn't have because let's start from even ordinary police, from the entry point into the judicial process. You go to an average police station, you have a case to report. First, you are asked, to even buy the paper with which you are going to write your statement. You have to pay for it. Then if somebody has to be invited, you have to provide fueling or transportation for police to go and invite or arrest such a person. And by the time the person is even arrested or invited, if the person happens to have more financial muscle than you that even came to report, the case is turned on its head. And if the case is not taken, you become the victim. You that is the victim that went to report, you become the accused. And the person you came to report may actually walk scot-free. Now, even if the case gets to the court eventually, if for any reason you are able to muscle your way through and the case is charged to court, it becomes a question of, you have the financial power to get the type of lawyer that will stand for you. If you happen to get, and the man is more financially buoyant, he gets a more experienced lawyer, probably a son, who knows, maybe who may even know one judge or know one person or the other. And before you know what is happening, justice will not be seen to have been done. So it's a major crisis for us. And except we are able to change this further, except our courts, can the whole judicial process, not just the courts now, beginning from the police, which is the entry point into the judicial process, except we reform it, then we are sitting on the peg of gunpowder. And that is why you see so many people, that has what led to the culture of impunity. Because those who have the resources believe that even if they are arrested, they can buy their way through. They can subvert the judicial process. And because of that, people keep committing crime because they are not seeing people being punished. They are not seeing justice being served. And like I did say, if we don't do something about it, as a nation, we are sitting on the peg of gunpowder, because what we should give back to is self-help. People start to resort to self-help, and we have seen that increasingly. We have seen situations where, of a mob justice, because people don't believe in the judicial process. They don't believe in the judicial system.
So how
people start to resort to self-help.
Yeah, how can the government then restore public trust, in its ability to fight corruption and manage, public resources effectively, especially when you say people don't even believe in the judiciary no more, and it does even seem as though people are beginning to lose, or Nigerians are beginning to lose trust in the efficacy of the institutionalization of the EFCC and their capacity to maintain its independence and impartiality, especially in the face of political pressure.
Well, I think what we need to do is that we have to reinforce the culture of accountability from the lowest level to the highest level. People must be held accountable, whether you are EFCC, whether you are police, whether you are judiciary. We must find a way to ensure that we institutionalize accountability. So that, because when people know that they'll be held accountable for their actions and inactions, then people are bound to sit up. But when people are not held accountable and they think they can just do anything and get away with it, then we'll continue to see this culture of impunity to continue to reinforce itself. So the importance of accountability in this process of trying to reform our system is inevitable. Everybody must be held accountable. If you're a policeman, for any action you take, you should be held accountable. If you're EFCC, if you're a judge, not if you're a governor, you are a senator, you are even a councillor, we must institute a process of accountability that for actions that you have taken, you owe people a duty to be accountable to them. And if you are found not to have done what you are supposed to do, or you have abused power, then people should should be made to pay for it. Because if we don't do that, like I said earlier on, we are going to encourage people to resort to self-help. And that means we'll descend into a state of nation where life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. And no society can, on the basis of that, develop. So we need to start to make people accountable for their actions and inactions. And where they are found wanting, the right punishment should be served, irrespective of class, irrespective of wherever they are. Because when you do that, you send a message to society that it cannot just be, it can just not be, you just can't misbehave. If you misbehave, you'll be held accountable. And if you are found wanting, the right punishment will be meted out to you, irrespective of who you are or who you know.
All right. Anyways, we're still having a conversation right here. EFCC versus Tambuwal versus the ADC versus Atiku Abubakar. And yes, our guest, Comrade Babatunde Oluwajo, has been, giving us thoughts in the discourse. You want to add, your thoughts too? Especially when it has to do with the anti-graft agency and how far they've gone in terms of how they are channeling resources, channeling their capacity in nabbing those who are perceived to have, stolen monies or dipped their hands into the coffers of our collective resources. Well, you can as well do that already. The number is 0907-353-0044. Taking this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Honorable Edwards.
Yes, I'm calling from Nepal.
Welcome aboard.
I like to extend my greeting to our guest.
Right.
And I want to contribute on this matter, despite the fact that I work with Tambuwal. Our guest has said everything.
Right.
See, I can see desperation to hijack power by ADC. Is it ADC? What is the party in this coalition? Is it ADC?
Yeah, ADC, yes.
Yes. I think they are so desperate to hijack power. Don't forget that Yahya Bello, the judgment court has already passed the judgment to fulfill his own property. Are you aware? Is he not a member of APC? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Honorable.
Check all the governors, including my best governor, that is to me, the governor of Borno State. None of them are free. None of them. Imagine my governor taking over 150-something billion in just 6 months or thereabout. Can he account for that? Our governor, does it mean if you're a governor, then you can withdraw any amount? Imagine someone withdraw such amount. What are you going to do with that amount? Because what I know is that if it's going for contract, it should be channeled to the contractor to withdraw it to do what with. And then EFCC should not even ask them what is the duty, what is their work. I'm sure someone must have written a petition. And these guys have been on investigation for long, even though it's my boss. Let's stop intimidating EFCC. Let them do their work. Even if they are going to do this on the basis to stop criminals becoming our leaders again. Let them stop there.
Okay.
Let them stop criminals from becoming our leaders again. We are tired of criminality in this country. It's not safe because you regroup in order to come and keep the whole money, the whole weight we have in Nigeria, destroy everything. EFCC, I gave them a plot. They should go ahead and do not just to Tambuwal, my former boss, but they should do to any other person who has embezzled our money, our money that is supposed to go for road, go for school, go to Secretary of State, go and look at how many children are out of school.
Okay. Honorable.
That money is enough to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So enough is enough. Allow EFCC to do their work, whether they be partial or not. If they can get 2 out of 10, we are okay.
Okay. Allow EFCC to do their job. Whether if they can get 2 out of 10, that might just be a plus. Well, Comrade Oluwajo, we will get back on you, but we have to go on a recess now. Pay some bills. We'll be right back. When we do come back, we get to hear from Nigerians, hear from the family members what they think about this move, whether it's a case of witch hunt, whether it's a case of the EFCC being intimidated, whether it's a case of the backing of the from the Constitution of the EFCC to do their job. We'll just get to hear and have that conversation. All right, we'll be right back in a short bit. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Alo?
Musa?
Na je shagon ya ce duk farashin ɗaya ne a ko'ina sai dai mu je.
Kwantar da hankalinka mana. Wai, sauran me kake yi ne? Na san baka da lokacin magana a wayarka ne. Shi yasa kake sauri ko?
Ire-iren su Musa ne, silar MTN gabatar muku da tsarin beta gist. A duk maganin mintoci 6 da aka yi, MTN za ta yi muku ƙarin mintoci 3 domin ci gaba da magana. Domin shiga MTN beta gist, a kira *123 *2 *1# ko a rubuta BG a aika zuwa 312. Kai tsaye a fara more tsarin. Yawan magana da aka yi, yawan ƙarin da MTN za su yi ma. Akwai sharuda da ka'idoji.
This is Nigeria, where every new day brings a fresh chance to dream bigger, push harder, and live confidently. But true confidence is more than hope. It's knowing that no matter where you are, no matter who you are, you're protected, empowered, and ready for the journey ahead. At Sanlam Alliance, we believe confidence isn't just for a few, it's the right of everyone. That's why we have come together, uniting the strength of a Pan-African giant and a global leader to give you the financial protection and solutions you need to succeed. Because when we come together, we protect more, we achieve more, and we all rise together. Sanlam and Alliance is now Sanlam Alliance. Sanlam Alliance. Live with confidence.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It is the Eagles Outlook, the political and current affairs program show right here on Eagles FM 102.3. All right, taking this call right now. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, that's a mess though. Keep the calls coming through. 0907-353-0044. That is the number that you should call and stick to. So stick to that number and we have a great conversation. Hello, good morning.
Morning, UD. This is Moses from Suleja.
Oh, Moses all the way from Suleja. Moses, a quick one. Go straight to it. Let's hear.
I think I want to thank your guests over this, all their analysis. But UD, one of the challenges we have in this country, may I tell you,
please,
we have the two main religions. Some of these politicians that come, they took an oath with the Bible, they took an oath with the Quran to serve the people with good governance. But when they go there, the fear of God is no more found in some of them, especially most of them.
Okay.
If the fear of God, who has the power to put them in that position, with accountability, which your guest just spoke, we will have a good governance in this. The problem of this country is corruption. It's centered on corruption. So if these people have the fear of God in them, what they taught them, what they teach them in the church or in the mosque, they can hold that view very strongly. It will be very, very valuable for our government. Then another thing again, is the issue of independence. I know this country, most of our judges are appointed by the government. They put them there. EFCC, government put them there. The politician put them there. So can you fight against somebody who put you there? So if there is this issue of independence, let our judge, everything regarding to court, judiciary should be independent. EFCC should be independent. Even the INEC should be independent. Even though INEC is independent, which is here, but really they're not independent. They're funding from the government. So they should have a way out that these people can be independent and let them work without fear of favor. I think this is what is going to help. And the issue, like I always say, China is one of the corrupt nations, but they were able to deal with these politicians before China became what it is. So if these people who committed crime by embezzling our money or our funds, which we take it lightly, we see them moving in our society fully, nothing has been done. The other people coming up will still do the same. And it is still the same, these politicians. After some of them embezzle our money, to see the same, they will use this money to campaign, to bribe again, to come back to the same position that they were looking for, or a position ahead of us. So the best solution to this is that we should get an independent body that can deal with corrupt politicians. Not only corrupt politicians, the individuals who are involved in corruption, but the issue of corruption be limited or eradicated.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much, Moses, right there. Some tweaks here, some tweak there, and yet the conversation is still trending on here. Well, we'll stay taking your reaction and taking your calls, though. But whilst we try to connect with our guest again, to have his 2 cents, into the discourse this morning. The EFCC is supposed to be independent, right? But are they really independent as it stands? Hello, good morning.
Sorry, Mr. Edward.
Yeah.
Honorable Edward.
Edwards,
I
okay.
made a mistake by not bringing a solution to this problem. I think the solution to this problem should be that the INEC chairman and then the EFCC board, ICPC, should be voted by the following people, but not appointed. I think the National Assembly, okay, they are working on the constitution review now. Should be voted by the following people: all the party escorts in Nigeria, all the permanent secretary in Nigeria, federal permanent secretary in Nigeria. They should be voted by them to become the chairman of the INEC and the chairman of the EFCC. In order to avoid this, it took as if maybe you are appointed by Mr. President and then you are acting according to instruction given to you by Mr. President. I can't see Mr. President giving instruction to arrest anybody. Why is it that our leaders are fair? How can Atiku will say EFCC are biased? Are biased? How can he prove that? And that's why someone wants to be our president. And then the ADC are also saying that the political parties that want to take over. It's an insult, and it should be taken serious, and it should stop immediately. We are tired of all these things in Nigeria.
Okay.
If others are not speaking, some of us are ready to speak out. Enough is enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Edwards. Comrade Oluwajo, I will get with you in a short bit, but let's just take these 2 messages. Then we ask just one more question, and then, of course, you put a cap, to the entire discourse this morning. Now, this message is coming from Joseph from Jahi. It says, "Good morning, Eagles FM. Good morning to you. UD, let me confess to you. Russian President Vladimir Putin is my own role model. There's a saying that clock is ticking for all looters in Nigeria. Look at our judiciary. Look at EFCC. Look at WAEC. Look at INEC. Every week. Okay, very weak. That's what he says. Okay, I think Joseph is looking at it that, look, most of the very primal institutions that we have, they are falling apart and they're very weak. But I see this one from Samuel now from Kuje, and it says, regards to the guest, EFCC for me have become a witch hunting agency and a tool in the hands of the people in authority to silence anyone who is not in support of their inhumane policy. For the EFCC to operate very well and are devoid of interference from the people in authority, they should be completely independent with the proper laws guiding their activities. If not, there is no way they can stop this one-sided fight of corruption in Nigeria. Again, the judiciary are not helping matters at all. Justice in this country is now for the highest bidder. All right, thanks and have a wonderful day, he says. All right, comrade, are you there? Yeah. Is it, I mean, you heard from the plethora of what Nigerians and family members are saying. One of the family members had asked a very strong question, saying he doesn't see where Mr. President will give Ola Olukoyede a script and say, "Oh yeah, go after this one, go after that one, go." No, that the likes of Atiku should keep short or stay away, from such conversations about being witch hunted, using the EFCC for political gains and all of that. But don't you think that this is something that is something that happens with those in power? Is it wrong for Atiku to say that the EFCC is used to witch hunt opposition political members? Because Atiku Abubakar was a former vice president with the Obasanjo administration, and in that time, he must be speaking from a place of knowledge to have said that. And even during the Obasanjo regime, we still saw that Obasanjo was also accused of using the EFCC to go against opposition political members. What do you think?
Well, Atiku as a Nigerian has a right to voice an opinion. But like I did say, when you are accused, the first thing is to first go and explain. For me, that's part of accountability. You cannot be hiding behind the fact that I belong to an opposition party. That is why they are answering me. No. The question is, explain yourself. You owe the citizens, you owe Nigerians a duty to be accountable as a public official. So, your first defense should not be because I'm in the opposition, that is why. No. Your first defense, the first duty is to first explain yourself. For me, that is just the way to go. Because if you look at it, and I remember Obasanjo himself during his time, when he was accused of something the opposition, there was something he said, which is very profound. He said that the opposition should wait when they get to power. They too should go after those who are accused of corruption. Then they didn't even know that PDP will lose power so soon. So now that people in opposition are being asked questions, they should explain. And if they think they are being withheld, they too should wait. When they get to power, they should equally go after those who they think has committed crime. By the time we start doing that, I think maybe we may be able to clean the audience table. Right. We cannot just continue as a nation be hiding under the fact that we are being shunted. The question is, did you commit the crime?
Did you
commit the crime? Then you are ready to do the time. Don't go and hide behind the fact that I belong to opposition. No, we can't continue like that. The fact that you're in opposition does not mean you have the right to commit a crime.
All right, let me squeeze this one in. It says, "Good morning, sir. It's Moses from Karu." He says, "If anyone wants to tell me that the EFCC is an anti-graft agency, then has the president declared his assets yet? The issue is even Tinubu was governor for 8 years. Can he prove his wealth?" This one is coming from Moses all the way from Cairo, still talking about the place of accountability and transparency of the EFCC. Well, I don't know. What will be your final thoughts, in this regard as a way forward, and what Nigerians should indeed, or the type of mindset Nigerians should have towards the EFCC and towards crime in itself?
Well, like I did say, everybody, every public official, in fact, every individual owes society a duty to be accountable for your actions and your inactions. Of course, I'm not saying the president is a saint, but he will not be there forever. Only as 6 years. After then, he will have no immunity. So if people think, yes, he has committed some crime, let's wait for him. After 8 years, you can call him to come on account. And I remember in the past, he has been called to account. By the, this other government agency. He was even charged to court.
Is it ICPC?
No. The code of conduct, I believe. Yes, the code of conduct tribunal.
Okay.
He was charged before the code of conduct tribunal. So, if he has committed any crime, let us wait for him.
Okay.
After 8 years, he will not have immunity.
Okay.
So we should not use that as a basis to justify the criminality of any other person. I think everybody will need to institute accountability as part of our national values and culture.
Right.
And everybody who has been in public office should be ready to be accountable, to give account of his stewardship. And if anybody has been found wanting, the right punishment should be meted out.
All right.
So we should not encourage people to hide under the guise that they are in the opposition, and then because of that not to be accountable for their stewardship.
All right.
So for me, I think we need to make accountability part of our culture.
Okay, make accountability part of our culture, you say. Appreciate your time on here. We appreciate your time, Comrade Babatunde Oluwajo. You have indeed spoken comprehensive wisdom. We look forward to having more conversation with you in the coming days.
Thank you very much for having me, and have a great day.
Right, you too. Well, this is where we call it a close already, but thank you, Far Too Kind, for also being a part of the discourse this morning, as I'm afraid we have to call it a close on here. I mean, we'll still keep this fight up, where we have to support the relevant agencies to do what they